Buying an old Range Rover. You probably clicked on this video for two reasons. You're either looking to buy a Range Rover anyway, but you're thinking, if I were to buy an older Range Rover, would it be more value for money? Or you are looking to buy a car anyway, and you thought to yourself, rather than spending 15 grand to buy a modern-ish, budget-friendly car, should I buy an old Range Rover for the same price? Would I be better off? And in this video, I'm going to do my best to answer those questions for you. So without further ado, let's get started. But before we do so, I think you should know a little bit more about me. You know what? We are on a nice country road over here. We're gonna do a bit of off-roading, and there's no better way to explain about the car than while doing off-roading. So let's do two things. Let's talk about the car and do off-roading.
This is my fourth Range Rover, which I bought in the summer of 2022. It is also the oldest and the highest mileage Range Rover that I have owned. The previous Range Rovers I had were either brand new or almost brand new, and I bought them in cash or through finance. When you buy an older Range Rover, you're most likely going to buy it in cash. So if you're the type of person who goes via the finance route only, remember, it is highly unlikely you'll get one on finance. Since I bought the car in 2022, I have been doing all of the repairs and maintenance by myself. I have worked on the engine, the brakes, and most of the fluids. I did the service to the car, and I worked on the control arms and much more. You must know, I'm not a mechanic or have any mechanical background. Despite everyone telling me I needed to take the car to a specialist, I have never done that. I have done all the work at home on my slopey driveway, where I had issues racing the car, as you can see in my previous videos, and more on that to come on a later video. I'm not going to lie to you, I have had my challenges and failures, but despite that, I still managed to complete all of the jobs, and if I can do it, then anyone can do it. Will this car be cheaper than buying a new one? Definitely, 100%. Even if you have to buy the car twice over, it will still be cheaper than buying a newer one. Will you be saving money? Yes, you will be saving money, but I would say to keep at least 5 to 6 grand in your bank account just in case you need to do repairs. Because as an older car, you need to look after it differently. Not because it's a Range Rover, but because it's an older car. But please do not see this in a negative way, because a car is a car, and you would need to do a regular maintenance and repairs whether it's new or old. Now, you're thinking to yourself that you are going to go and start looking for an old Range Rover that would suit your needs, or perhaps fulfill a lifelong dream of owning a great 4x4. But before you go and view the car, make sure to watch my buying tips and advice video, where I tell you what to look out for on the day of your car viewing appointment. I will put the link for you in the description below. Also, I have already done an 18-month review on this Range Rover, so if you want to see what the car looks like from inside, the engine spec, and get a feel for what you can expect further down the line, I will also leave the link for you in the description. With the Range Rover being older, you are naturally going to care less. This is a good thing, because with a newer car, you're obviously going to always be worried about where you're going to park the car, or who's going to scratch the car, or what is going on with the car, and what's going to happen if it breaks down or something like that. If something goes wrong with the car, your heart is going to beat a million beats per second. However, with an older car, you're a bit more flexible, because at the end of the day, it is an older car, so it will have lost most of its value initially when it first came out. So remember, this car was 10 times more expensive, so it lost a lot of its value, which makes it a bargain. Yes, it is a bargain that is still relevant to today's age. If we look at the technology this car can offer, it has a lot of technology that many cars today are trying to catch up with. It has adaptive cruise control, a TV, a dual screen, a heated windscreen, a heated steering wheel, and an auxiliary heater. It still has actual buttons that you can use to control the system. You do not need to mess around with touchscreen, which can be difficult to use while driving, especially if you get in and out of a different type of cars. It'll be a bit more challenging if you're not used to touchscreen while driving.
So, it's very muddy here. I hope we can make it.
I think the tires will be alright. But yeah, I think the car will be okay. However, the view is very beautiful. And let's see, super muddy. As a Range Rover, it has a split tailgate, which is practical in so many situations. The windows are wider and longer than newer cars, which is a big bonus for me. Now let's discuss the negatives. Surely there are negatives to buying an older car over a newer one. Rust. Yes, of course. Just like an older car, because it's metal, this car drives on the road, so it had to battle with the weather. So, as an older car, it will have rust. And this is the situation. It is inevitable. It doesn't matter which brand you have, you're going to have rust. And if it's not a normal metal, let's say aluminium, you're going to get corrosion. And that is the situation. It's a car. This is how the world works. Mechanically, of course, an older engine will have more wear and tear. But just remember, newer engines don't have the wear and tear or break in, so you could have even more issues. So just because it's an older car doesn't automatically mean it has more issues than a newer car. I know people who have bought newer cars and they have more issues than older cars. Gaskets and rubbers. Because this is an older car, most of the rubbers and gasket and the things that are wearable are going to be worn. So rubbers don't last forever. Gaskets don't last forever. Anything plastic, anything that can extract or contract with heat and cold, of course, is going to fail at one point. So just remember, you're going to have to do repairs. It's not something you can avoid, but that's not a problem, because once you do all of those repairs, you're going to have a brand new old car, if that makes sense. If you are good with your hands, then this is ideally for you, because during the weekend you can just sit down for a few hours and do the job, and then it's simple. But if you want to take it to a specialist, you can take it to a specialist. If you want to take it to a mechanic, or if you want to take it to a Land Rover, you can also do that. That's not a problem. That's the thing, because of this car age, parts are still available at Land Rover. It's not a big deal. I even made a video on how to find parts at Land Rover. This is not a difficult car to deal or work on. I have already explained to you my background and where I come from, and here's my channel. I have made over 75 videos on this car, so please feel free to view all of my videos so you can know more about me. We recently reached over 3,100 subscribers, so we would like to thank each and every one of you who subscribe. We are building the channel up bit by bit and trying to help and reach as many people as possible. So, if you're new to this channel, please help us grow by liking this video and clicking subscribe. Is totally free. I hope this video was helpful to you, and if it wasn't, I hope it was at least entertaining. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below, and with that in mind guys, I'll see you on our next one. Bye bye.